Hello everyone, welcome to What If Issei had Luffy's personality and was protected by Supernatural World Part 1. Before we start, please go support God of Hope for writing that awesome fanfic. This is the translated version I made. There will be some wrong he or she calling here because it's translated, so let me clear this. Issei is a male in this story. The boy of trouble. The city of Cow. Home to many people in Japan where everything is normal. Well, not so normal. I'll be late for the academy. In the house there were many noises of things being thrown and more until a boy came out of it. She was 16 and had brown hair and almond brown eyes. She was wearing an open, blue-black jacket with a white button-down shirt and a red undershirt, pants the same color as the jacket, and dark blue Converse sneakers. Hey, don't blame me, they're my favorite brand of shoes. The boy had a toast in his mouth, but on the way he put something around his neck and it was some kind of amulet. He ran at an incredible speed, faster than any other boy the city knew. Hey Issei, you can do it. Let's go, Issei-kun. Be careful crossing the street. Of course he was very loved in the neighborhood since the neighbors greeted him and encouraged him on his way. Thank you Mr. Ryuji, Elder Onodera, Mrs. Kasakib. He gave everyone a smile as he ran. He was grateful that they cared about him. He ran further, passing over pedestrians, then cars, then in an acrobatic jump he went over a traffic patrol car. The policeman just smiled at how he ran. Hey Issei, don't be late or you'll be punished. I know Officer Marina, see you. Who was that boy? That boy is Issei Haidu. He is the joy of the neighborhood, although he is also known as the troublemaker. The troublemaker? Yes, he has plenty of energy, and besides the fact that he is never still, he does what he wants and he likes to have fun, especially when it is with many people. It is as if you were drawn to the fire of his fun. While they were talking, Issei could see the doors of the academy. Oh no, I have to get there. He quickened his pace and the guard was about to close the door, but before he could lock it, Issei jumped over the gate very high and landed in a somersault like a professional gymnast. All the students applauded when they saw the entrance he made. Issei stood up and saw the doors as they were closed. My goodness, I almost made it, I'm glad I managed to make it. POW. He couldn't celebrate because he had his face on the ground and a bump on his head with a line of smoke coming out of it. I'm glad you made it, you'll say, I'm glad you got here early. He stood up to see a girl his age with brown hair tied into two loose ponytails on either side of her shoulders, green eyes with pink frame glasses. She was wearing the academy uniform, which consisted of a black jacket, white button-down shirt, magenta skirt, knee-high socks and shoes. She was her best friend, Ika Kiryu. And I was angry. Why do I know that? Well, there's no one around who raises their fist with a line of smoke on their knuckles. Hey Ika, how are you? He responded without caring about the blow. It's not that he endured the pain, but because it didn't really hurt him at all. Ice, you didn't come for me when we agreed to go together. I was waiting for you and you didn't come. Sorry Ika, I fell asleep again. You broke your alarm clock again, right? Do I have an alarm clock? Boom. You surely know what that noise was. Ika dragged an unconscious Issei across the floor to the building to begin her classes. They two were friends since middle school. She is very intelligent and had good grades, but that did not give her access to having a friendship until she met Issei, who many thought was just an average boy. She got to know him better and realized that he wasn't like the perverted guys she had met and that he brought joy to everyone around him. She asked him to be her friend, which he accepted without any problem. And since then they have been through many funny and problematic things that make her get into more trouble and be rejected by others. But he didn't care since he valued his friendship with Issei very much. Although of course sometimes it drove her crazy. Maybe it's my fault for hitting him so much that he forgets things. I hope he doesn't get Alzheimer. Change of scene. It was lunchtime and everyone arrived at the dining room to fill their stomachs. Everyone was talking at their tables with their friends. Issei and Ika went to their own table, where only they go without anyone bothering them or anything. Hey Issei, I hope you haven't forgotten your bento, have you? Bento? Oh no, I forgot it at home. She sighed, already expecting him to forget the simple and important things. I have to stop hitting him too much. The good thing is that she was prepared since she brought a bento for 2 people. Come on, let's eat mine. I don't want to have to drag you all over the school because I have no energy. Oh really? Yes, I'm serious. That's great, thanks Ika, you're the best friend I could have. You don't have to thank me, now eat. Yeah. They took their chopsticks and itadakimasu. They both ate, but as always in their routine. Ika, this is the best food I've ever had. You always say it, Issei. Although she had a serene expression, she also had a blush from the brown-haired boy's praise. But the place is very boring. He said this when he saw that everyone was talking to each other, but, well, no way, I'm going to do my magic. Don't even think about it, the last time the student council president punished you for 2 weeks of cleaning and I had to give you the notes from the classes you didn't attend. But nothing. You are very bad to me. Ooh, and you are very immature. But I just want to have fun. We both know that for you the meaning of fun is very destructive and attracts a lot of attention. Well, maybe you're right, I know I have to, look over there. He pointed behind his friend with a surprised face. I'm not going to fall for that cheap trick. I know you can pour your juice on his head if you want. That. She turned to see the person Issei spoke to, but when she didn't see anyone she just turned pale. He fooled me again, how does he do it? She turned around praying that her friend was in the same place, but when she saw that there was no one her hope was shattered, and even more so when she saw how Issei approached the center of the cafeteria. Not again. He climbed onto the table of some boys who were eating. Hey guys from Cow Academy, do you want to know something that happened to me yesterday? Nobody spoke, the girls began to leave there knowing or sensing what was coming. Issei saw that everyone had their attention. I got myself a girlfriend. Everyone was silent, especially the boys when they heard that. They started to have angry and jealous faces. Just like he wanted. One of the boys, very angry, was the one who unleashed what was going to happen next. At him. They all jumped on him with the intention of hitting him as Issei rolled up the sleeves of his jacket. That's what I wanted. Boom. Crash. Bam. Boom. Bam. Everything became chaos, tables and trays flew apart from some unfortunate people who flew away. For everyone this was normal, since Issei is the one who starts the riots in which there are times when things go very far. Of course all the students can't deny that he makes things more fun. Let's admit it, you wouldn't want someone to go crazy for a moment and get into a fight, feel the adrenaline in your blood. All the boys want to feel it, since there were few who just played along with Issei. And speaking of the devil, he himself is hitting and throwing anyone who comes near him. He had fun without caring about the consequences. Ika just watched him from afar, but despite everything she can't deny that this immature and rowdy boy was her friend and owner of her heart. Well, I'll let him have fun, and he looks very happy now. The good thing is that I don't have to worry about rivals, after all, who would notice him? If I knew. Change of scene. It's already the 4th time you do it, Issei. Now we see him in the student council room in front of the student council president, Sana Shitori. And the girl who was talking to him was a 3rd year with short black hair down to her shoulders and violet eyes with semi-rimless glasses. She had the female academy uniform and her attitude was that of a very strict girl. And now she was angry at the boy who started it all. I'm sorry. But I'm sorry you're not going to fix things, your fuss left the cafeteria in a mess. Do you know how much paperwork I'll have to do for this? 7. She really wanted to grab him by the neck and strangle him for the stupid answer he gave. Give me a good reason why I shouldn't kick you out of here. I don't have it, I just did it because I thought it was fun. She just sighed in frustration watching the boy who smiled without a care in the world. And although he admired the simplicity and sincerity of that boy, he could not understand how a boy with the mentality of an 8-year-old, innocent and happy, could be so good at subjects. She reviewed his records and learned from his medical studies that he was actually a very intelligent boy, passing the IQ test with a score of 81. Implying that he was a boy with a brain, but he has a problem which is lack of attention, since if he is not interested in something he will not do it as he should, so she has been watching him. But now I had to punish him. The first one this month, you put grape-flavored powder in the fountain at the academy. It just looked boring that the fountain only throws out normal water. The second was that you threw paint at the windows of the principal's office. He told me he would pay me money to paint his house, and he never paid me a cent. And the third was that you were bringing wild animals into the academy forest. I couldn't leave those rabbits alone, how was I supposed to know that they reproduce quickly? And now you come out with this, there is not a moment of peace with you. I'm sorry, I know I got carried away this time, but I just wanted to set a fun atmosphere. The academy is very boring. You come to an academy to study, not to entertain yourself. You are very bossy. He had a tick when he heard the last word, but he let it go since arguing with him was pointless. Look, Issei, just because your grades are good and your performance in sports activities does not allow me to expel you, so you will do cleaning service, and you will start by cleaning up the mess you caused. Good. She was angry at the way he took his punishment. And you will clean the gym. Good. The men's toilets. Good. The showers. Good. Sana just wanted to kill him for the playful way he said it. Can I go now? Ooh, go away already before I get the urge to hang you from the flagpole. Okay. He was about to leave, but not before stopping and returning to the desk. He took something out of his jacket and left it there in front of her. I hope you like it. And he prepared to leave. She looked up to see what he left on his desk, and it was a queen chess piece. She was surprised since one of her pieces broke a few days ago due to an accident and she was thinking of looking for one to replace the one she lost, but now that she sees the one in front of her, carved from perfectly handmade wood, she could only smile. She took the piece in her hands to see the boy's work in more detail, and more so when she realized that he had band-aids on his fingers when she saw him. Even if you cause problems, I know you do it with good intentions. A boy like that is a very versatile element in any nobility. How I would like to have him. Knock knock. Forward. The girl of the same age as I heard her enter the door, with crimson red hair, blue eyes and an elegant demeanor. Her clothes were the same, a female academy uniform, except that her supermodel body attracted more attention from everyone. Hey, sounds like you're doing. Rias that are offered to you. I wanted to see Ice around here. If you're looking for him, you're late. He's already gone. She just pouted when she knew he wasn't there. You want to recruit him again, right? Come on, you say it as if you didn't want it in your nobility. Well, I want him in my nobility, it's just that he doesn't accept being part of the student council. Well, the same thing happens to me. I have invited him to my club many times, but either he can't or it's his friend with glasses. Well, we are the same. They both sighed at the predicament they were in. What reminds you of how you met him? Flashback. She was walking down the halls and when she felt thirsty she only saw the drinks vending machine. The juice to cool off is not a bad thing on these hot days. She pulled money out of her skirt and started putting it into the machine, then pressed some buttons and waited for the machine to give her her drink. But he didn't give him anything. I deposited money and you don't give me anything. This is robbery. I just wanted to make the machine with the power of destruction disappear but… Passing. Pow. Iridid saw a boy walking straight to the machine, he just hit him with the back of his hand and he dropped a juice. She opened her eyes in surprise as she saw her drink coming out. The boy took the drink and gave it to Rias. The machine gets stuck when dispensing drinks, so you have to hit it to release it. Thanks Sam. Issei hi do but my friends call me Ice. Nice to meet you Issei, and thanks again for… Pow pow. Now she saw how he hit the machine twice and 2 drinks came out, he took them and smiled. Don't you have to pay for them? That's what Rias said, very curious. Issei just stood in front of her and moved a hand into her sight. I already paid for them. No, you didn't pay for them. He did it again. I already paid for them. You didn't pay them, why are you doing that? That's what Rias asked, imitating Issei's act, but she only saw how he puffed out his cheeks in anger. Damn, now I know I don't have GD powers. She started laughing at the things he said just by listening to him, especially when she saw him trying to lift the machine with the power of the force. Well, I definitely don't have GD powers. She couldn't stop laughing. Ahaha, you're funny. He got upset and with his hand he pretended to strangle someone, she laughed even more when she saw his attempt. Nice try Darth Vader. Ooh, it's not fair, he made a childish pout. Look, just because you helped me get my drink, I won't tell anyone what you think. Oh really? He saw how her eyes sparkled with joy. Yes, seriously. Thank you very much, you are very kind and just for that. How? I hit the machine again, taking out another drink and giving it to Rias. She took it even though it was a sign of friendship, she saw the act as very sweet. It's wrong to do it, you know. Only if someone sees you, besides, we're drinking friends, right? That threw the Redeed off balance, since any boy would take advantage of the opportunity that Issei has to show off to her or flirt with her. But that brown-haired boy only wants to be friends with her. Well, if you put it that way, I wouldn't refuse. I agree to be your drinking friend. Well, let's seal this pact with a toast. Fufu, good to your health. They both clinked their drinks in a toast. Hampai. Ice. A chill ran down his spine when he heard that voice. Come back here so you can help me with the cleaning. Damn, you haven't seen me. He returned to Rias doing the force trick again. She just laughed and played along. I haven't seen you. There you are. Damn, it found me, see you later. Don't run away Ice or I'll hit you so much on the head that you'll have to see your doctor for a week. All the more reason I run away from you, Ika, it was just an accident. Come back here. Rias watched the boy leave being chased by her best friend who promised him pain. You wouldn't run away from something like that, would you? End of flashback. She sighed more and blushed as she thought about him. Dreaming about that boy again. I can't help it, that boy has a heart of gold. Yes, I admit it, but that doesn't mean you don't keep an eye on him. Ever since you met him, he's become friends with you in a different way than the other boys who look at you with lust. Don't even remember me. I remind you that because of the friendship you have with him, he has been the target of many attacks and attempts at defamation, including an attempted murder by a student who tried to kill him. What surprises me is that he forgave that boy and did not end his friendship with you. She gave him a smile that showed the opposite of what it should show. He showed guilt. I know, Ice is incapable of hating someone and forgives, no matter who it is. There are times when I feel that I do not deserve his friendship. But don't you remember how he felt when that boy who tried to kill him out of revenge tried to attack you? Issei was left furious and left with 6 broken ribs, a punctured lung, a deviated septum, and worst of all, his lower jaw was seriously injured. She didn't say anything to Sona's words. Rias, he doesn't like his friends to be hurt. Don't say that you don't deserve his friendship that he values along with that of his friend Ika. I know, thanks for reminding me, Sona. Now I know that I must protect my bond with him. And what are you waiting for? Look for it. That's it, see you later. She left, leaving the smiling black-haired girl. The pieces for Issei to be able to reincarnate into a demon are at least 8 pawns. Only Rias can reincarnate him since I don't have enough pieces. His hands did not leave the piece of wood that Issei gave him. I hope you make him a devil so we can make him happy. That boy deserves happiness in his life. Change of scene. Ice. He turned around when he heard someone calling him and smiled when he realized it was her. Hey Rias-senpai. I told you many times to leave senpai. But if I do it, Ika will get angry with me and won't give me any more bento. Well, if you came to eat with me at my club, you would have food. But she said those are only for the popular kids. She just patted her face with her hand. Ice, you shouldn't always listen to her. She's my friend, so I have to listen to her. I'm also your friend. But you don't hit me, even though I deserve it, of course. You treat me well, and you also like and I'm like me. That's why I value you as a great friend. She blushed when she heard the words of that boy who, despite the difficulties, did not reject her. That's why she wants to have him in her nobility. A unique and sincere boy is an easy target for whoever wants to hurt him, and she would never allow it. She shakes her face to leave those images of her and Issei together. Well, leaving that aside, do you want to accompany me to my club room? Akeno-senpai for your tea? If she expects you to try it. Well, I'm an ow, ooh. You're not going anywhere. It was Ika who was pulling his ear and was angry. But now what did I do? We have to clean up the mess you made. But I did that and ouch. And you think I'm going to leave you alone? We have a history project that we have to hand in, and I don't want to get a low grade. But Ika. But nothing, go to the living room now. But. I said now. He was scared when he saw her threatening face and ran away, but not before saying goodbye to Rias. See you Rias-senpai, I hope to try Akeno-senpai's tea. See you Ice. He was already leaving like the devil himself. What an irony, right? Leaving the girls alone. Trying to recruit Ice Rias-senpai again. As far as I know, I'm not doing anything wrong, Kiryu-san. I told him many times he should not get involved in the supernatural world and even less with you as his mistress. I protect my servants as if they were my family, and I would protect Ice as someone important to me. Well, if you want to protect him, I'll just tell you this, and it's the last time I'll tell you this again. Keep your nobility and yourself away from Ice, or I swear to God that I won't hold back, and this time I'm serious. That's what the girl with glasses said, taking a cross out of her shirt and a look that didn't hesitate in her threat. The fact that you are a retired exorcist doesn't mean that I will stay away from him. Your threats don't scare me. Well, he is my friend and protecting him is something I will do without hesitation. Ice is also my friend, and I will protect him even if he is not my servant. You're warned. She put away her cross and walked away, leaving Rias staring hostilely at Ika. Again rubbing friction with that exorcist. Rias turned around to see a girl her age, with long black hair tied into a ponytail with an orange bow, violet eyes, and an air of serenity worthy of a lady. Nothing Akeno, it's just that girl keeps pushing him away from me. Well Rias, you should see from his side, Ice-kun is a unique boy who is hard to find. If you were in his place, you would also threaten someone who was a threat. It's still not fair. Ice is my friend, and I want to protect him from the things that will soon come. Their power will attract other powers no matter what they do. That is the curse of those who contain those artifacts. I know. Udo-kun values his friendship very much. Kaneko-chan smiles more when he visits the club. And you are not far behind. You put a lot of effort into the tea, making new flavors every time he visits us. You even knocked him out with your rays so he would sleep on your lap. You also enjoyed that and even asked me to electrocute him more so he wouldn't wake up. Well, we are both guilty. But if it weren't for her he would be having fun with us at the club. Even so Kaneko-chan must not stop watching him. I have a feeling that something is going to happen and I don't want anything to happen to him. And if that happens, well, I'll reincarnate him. He deserves to be happy. Well, it's the best. I also hope he's with us. It would be very nice to pamper him. They left in the direction of their club, but Rias was still pensive. Issei is a boy who understands me. I know that with some of my dedication and my feelings, I will be able to make him the fiancé I want to have. Ice, how I wish you were with me. Her blush was present, wishing she could make her wish come true. In the cafeteria. Achoo. Hi, are you catching a cold? I don't know, but I can feel that someone talked about me. Well, that someone won't help us clean, we have to keep going. Yes, Mom. He responded sarcastically, returning to his task of cleaning, but Aika only had thoughts in her head. Not only will I have to take care of Citri, but also Grimoire. No matter what they do, they won't get their hands on Ice. I swear to God that they won't get their hands on him. She stopped her thoughts when she saw how Issei connected his cell phone to a speaker. Hey Ice, what are you doing? We have to clean up. But I don't like silence, he replied with a pout. He played a song, and Aika knew it was her favorite song. Hey, why don't you sing? I asked. I don't feel like it, she replied dryly. Come on, don't leave me singing alone, I begged like a little child. Well, I will do it, but if you sing it with me. It's a deal, he said happily. They were cleaning and began to sing, but Issei's idea was that he wanted to hear his friend sing, so he put on that song, since it's his favorite. Play Paramore's Ain't It Fun. I don't mind. Letting you down easy, but just give it time. If it doesn't hurt now, then just wait a while. You're not the big fish in the pond, no more. You're what they're feeding on. So what are you gonna do? When the world doesn't orbit around you? Ooh ah. So what are you gonna do? When the world doesn't orbit around you? Ain't it fun living in the real world? Ain't it good being all alone? Where are you from? You might be the one who's running things. Well, you could ring anybody's bell and get what you want. You see, it's easy to ignore a trouble. When you're living in a bubble. So what are you gonna do? When the world doesn't orbit around you? Ah. So what are you gonna do? When nobody wants to fool with you? Oh ah. Ain't it fun living in the real world? Ain't it good being all alone? Ain't it good to be on your own? Ain't it fun you can't count on no one? Ain't it good to be on your own? Ain't it fun you can't count on no one? Ain't it fun living in the real world? He watched as she had fun cleaning and dancing with a broom while he held his as if it were a guitar. Don't go crying to your mama. Cause you're on your own in the real world. Don't go crying to your mama. Cause you're on your own in the real world. Don't go crying to your mama. Cause you're on your own in the real world. Don't go crying to your mama. Cause you're on your own in the real world. Ain't it fun? Ain't it fun? Baby, now you're one of us. Ain't it fun? Ain't it fun? Ain't it fun? Aika was so immersed in the song that she didn't know how she ended up imitating the vocalist of Paramore. Ain't it fun living in the real world? Ain't it good? Ain't it good being all alone? Ain't it fun living in the real world? Cause the world don't orbit around you. Ain't it good? Ain't it good being all alone? Ah 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 ah. Don't go crying to your mama now to your mama. Cause you're on your own in the real world, don't go crying. Don't go crying to your mama now to your mama. Cause you're on your own hey in the real world. Don't go crying to your mama. Cause you're on your own, this is the real world in the real world. Don't go crying to your mama, don't go crying. Cause you're on your own in the real world, this is the real world. Moments like these are what she wants to protect. Don't go crying, this is the real world to your mama, don't go crying. Cause you're on your own in the real world, oh. Don't go crying oh to your mama, don't crying to your mama. Cause you're on your own, cause you're on in the real world. Don't go crying, don't go crying. Don't go crying, you're on your own. Don't go crying, don't go crying to your mama. Don't go crying. And so they continued singing and cleaning without stopping, having fun. Issei happy, making his friend smile, and Aika just being with her friend and secret crush without anyone else, just the two of them. For those moments, for those reasons, I want to protect Ice, because without him I would have nothing to lose. I know I learn something new every day. It was time for classes to end and everyone was leaving, including Issei and Aika, who were talking about some things. What a relief, we're out of that place. Don't be dramatic, Ice. But I wish school wasn't so boring. You come to school to study. Whatever. Well, are we going to your house? I won't be able to, I have to go to the library to deliver a book. Hey? How boring. Well, I know that if you are not interested in something, it is impossible for you to understand it, but remember that it is part of our history project. We decided to use the topic of the elites of civilizations. Yes, I know. Aren't you interested in what those brave warriors were like? Aren't you interested in knowing about them? What I would like is to face them and see how strong they are. She just shook her head with a smile at her friend's fighting habit. Well, I know you like to measure your strength against many opponents. I know. He smiled at her with his arms behind his head. Well, now I have to go, I'll see you tomorrow, and I hope you come by to pick me up so we can go together. Yes, Aika, we'll see each other. He left, leaving an Aika who looked at him somewhat worried. Your sacred gear will soon awaken. I have done everything possible so that you can still maintain your normal life, but I know it will be inevitable. She retreated towards the library, still with thoughts in her mind. I just hope I can still be your friend. Issei walked until he reached a bridge, then he leaned on the railing watching the cars pass by. Things are very boring. He looks at his hands carefully. I have this great strength and this incredible speed, but they are useless to me if I can't use them. How I wish my life would change. Ice-kun. The voice was heard and Issei turned to see who it was, he just smiled when he knew who it was. Hey, Yuma. Yuma is a girl with silky black hair, with violet eyes, she wore a different uniform. Issei met her 3 weeks ago when she approached him on that same bridge, she spoke to him with the intention of getting closer to him, romantically asking him out on a date, but Issei rejected the offer, since he told her that he was not interested in a girlfriend at the moment, but he gave her his friendship. Which she accepted, and from there they began to get to know each other, talking about things, going to fun places, and with each passing moment she began to have a crush on that boy, since unlike the man who looked with lust, he looked with sincerity. She began to value her bond with the boy, and since then she became friends with him. Hoping to reach his heart. They punished you again, right? Don't even remember me anymore. Yufufu, well if you stopped starting fights for fun you wouldn't have so many. But fighting is what I enjoy, Yuma, if only I could show my strength. Ice-kun. You know that my goal is to find someone who is like me, who likes to fight, who doesn't get tired, and who recognizes me as his rival. She just looked at him smiling bitterly. If you knew that there was already someone and that he would soon find you, if you knew that he and you are destined to be eternal rivals. Well, leaving that aside, tell me what are you doing here? Well I wanted to ask you if on Sunday we could go see the mall, there is a new dress and… To the mall. But it's very boring. But Ice-kun, you know that a girl can't go alone. And you don't have any friends to accompany you. They are busy. Come on, anything but that. I know that what I'm asking you for is something that you don't like since you got bored last time, but I promise that I will compensate you with an ice cream that you like. Will it be chocolate? She smiled at her friend's childish question. Yes, it will be chocolate. Do you promise me? Yes, I promise you. Okay. I'm glad, Ice-kun, see you on Sunday at 2 and be on time. Okay. Well, bye Ice-kun. Bye. She had left, leaving Issei watching her go. Well, at least I won't get bored, and Nif Kaneko-chan, is that you? He turned around to see someone running away at a good speed. Well, see you tomorrow at school. After discovering his friend he retired to his house. Hidema. That was what he said with a smile when he opened the door of his house, but no one answered him. I forgot, I live alone. He left his backpack on the couch and went to the kitchen. So I leave it here, I hope it still tastes good. He ate his bento that he left in the morning. While he ate he reflected on the things that have happened in his life. Since Shinsu master trained me, he told me to live a normal life until the time came, but when is the time? Will I be able to use my power? Unconsciously he took the amulet that hung from his neck, it was a tooth of some animal, and from what he could see it was very sharp. I hope it doesn't take long, I want to show Shinsu how strong I've become. How quiet the night is. This is what he said when he was on the roof of his house looking at the stars, it was his habit to look at them before going to sleep, hoping to hear something from them. But he was surprised to see a shooting star passing by at high speed. A shooting star, according to what I heard I have to make a wish. Let's see, my wish would be. He looked at the sky, clasping his hands as if in prayer. I want to have a family. He smiled because he wanted his wish to come true. His wish is very dear to him, since as a child he lived in an orphanage waiting for someone to adopt him. He made friends he would never forget, but he also saw those friends adopted, and in the end he was left alone. No family wanted to adopt him because he has something that makes him different from a normal child, he has abilities that surpass those of a human, whether in strength or agility. And not only that, but every time he saw any act of aggression and violence, something inside him forced him to go in and hit. His instincts were those of an animal who wants blood, and that is why he was feared. But things had changed when he met a man who would later become his teacher. He saw how because of his unbridled anger, he almost killed a man and stopped him. Then he trained him so that he could not only use his strength but also control that thirst for blood. At that time they both had a relationship of teacher and student, his teacher adopted him, and later a father and son relationship gave him a house in which he could call home, but one day he had to leave him alone, but promising him that he would see him again and that they would have a mass together. Issei just hopes he comes back and shows him how strong he has become. I want to see you again, Shinsu. Another school day where Issei was cleaning the gym as punishment for the fight he started that day in the cafeteria. He left the mop on the floor and wiped the sweat from his forehead. Ooh, I finished, I hope Aika left me some of her bento. Do you always talk to yourself? He turned around to see Rias, who had a box wrapped in a handkerchief. Rias-senpai. What are you doing here? I heard you were punished for what happened the other day and I wanted to give you something for your effort. He looked with shining eyes at the bento of Rias. It's for me, is it really for me? She smiled and nodded, handing him the bento. Wow, you are the best, Rias-senpai, you saved my life. She continued smiling but with a blush and with a hand on her heart for his compliments. After such dramatic thanks they were in the gymnasium steps, Issei eating the bento and Rias watching. This is delicious, Rias-senpai. I'm glad you like it, I tried really hard to make you like it. You did it? Of course I did, I know how to cook, you know. Gosh, with a bento like this, I'm going to be jealous of her boyfriend. She blushed more when I mentioned a boyfriend. How can you be jealous of yourself, Ice? But changing the subject, why was Kaneko-chan spying on me yesterday, do I owe her money or something? She was surprised to know that. Well, I don't know, but how did you know I was following you? Issei knew he should have kept his mouth shut. And he just did what he thought of. I whistle and look away. I don't know what you're talking about. Her eyes widened in amazement at what she saw. He can't lie. He was so innocent that lies didn't work out for him. Ice. She spoke to him in a tone that said, I'm still waiting. Issei didn't look at her or anything, and she just had an idea. She found a small package and unwrapped it and revealed that it was a candy. I prepared a delicious dessert for you, and if you tell me what I want to hear, it will be all yours. Something she knows about her friend love interest is that he likes sweets and delicious things, so she goes out of her way to give him handmade sweets. Hey? But I can't say it. It is filled with soy jelly. He looked at that candy with great longing and was now in conflict with himself. Soy? Rich soy jelly? No, Rias-senpai, please don't deny me that dessert. He begged her on his knees, but. You know what I want, Ice, and my patience is short, tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. The boy had no choice but to spill the beans. Okay, you win, I'll tell you everything, just please give me that candy. Good. She gave him the candy and without knowing how it disappeared from her hand, she saw how Issei had soy jelly stains in his mouth and smiled from how happy he enjoyed the candy. No, Ice, you are very childish. She takes out a handkerchief and uses it to wipe the teenager's mouth. You know I can't help it, sweets are my addiction, Rias-senpai. After I stop cleaning it. Well? Will you tell me? Well, I'll tell him, only if he promises to keep it a secret. I give you my word that I won't tell anyone. With a little finger. He showed her his little finger and she smiled and intertwined her finger with his. Yes, with a little finger. They thus sealed a promise. Well, you see. He tells him how he met his teacher and also tells him many other things. And as you can see, I am very different from a normal person. I can accidentally break rocks, run faster than others, and my senses are sharper than average. My teacher told me that I must keep them a secret so that you do not get scared. Ria's eyes widened at such information. She already felt that he wasn't quite normal, but she couldn't sense if he was a half-blood of a devil or fallen angel. She couldn't even figure out if he was a demigod. What he says doesn't make sense. I feel that he is 100% human. Of course I don't expect you to believe me, but. It's not that I don't believe you, Ice, what happens is that what you're telling me is illogical. If you want I can prove it. I didn't do it. He couldn't stop it when he saw how he jumped until he touched the ceiling of the gym, something that surprised Rias even more. I can't believe it, the strength required in the legs is so much that a normal human body couldn't resist, and they are about 25 meters high. That's not all, look. With his bare hand he touched one of the steel beams, and with little effort he bent it as if it were plasticine. Now Rias was a little scared, she always suspected that Issei was different, but she didn't think to what extent it was. I always knew you were very different from the rest, but my question is, what are you, Ice? Just when Rias was going to ask his friend more, the same boy came down to the ground, landing without problems. I have to go, Rias-senpai, if not Aika will kill me if I don't meet her at the library. He took his suitcase to leave but. Ice, wait. He waited for what his friend was going to tell him. I told you I won't tell anyone your secret and I promise not to tell anyone, but before you go I want to give you something. She approached Issei and took him by the hand to take something out of her skirt and give it to him. Issei saw that it was a card with a circle and strange symbols on it. And what is this? It's a magic card, if at any time you get into trouble just think of me and it will work. Issei had his doubts about what he said. I don't know, laugh-senpai, I really don't believe in those things. You would do it for me, I can't stay calm if you don't use it. Well, as a friend. She looked at him begging for him to take her. Okay, I'll take it. Issei took the card and put it in his jacket pocket. See you, Rias-senpai. He left with a smile thinking about how he can make school more fun. But Rias, when she lost sight of him, just squeezed his hands tightly. I know you'll tell me I'm selfish, Akeno. Why do you think I'll tell you that? Rias was talking to her queen Akeno who was coming out of the stands. She had heard everything. You know why? For not telling Ice that I'm a demon and. Rias, as things stand, we cannot get involved with humans in supernatural matters unless it is necessary. It's just that I'm afraid that fallen angel will kill him and hate me for not being able to help him. Rias, calm down, you gave him the card. If he gets into trouble he will summon you and we can save him. Once he knows that you are not human, you can invite him to the nobility and he will finally be with us in the club. It is the perfect and flawless plan. And if he doesn't use it? And if he uses it when he's about to die? I know I told myself that I would reincarnate him into a demon, but I want him to accept it the right way and for it to be by his own decision. I know you laugh, but you've already done what was within your reach and what we are allowed to walk. We just have to have faith that he will use the card. Rias just sighed knowing that her friend was right. Since a ceasefire was put in place in the last war, it was established by the Dimas that humans could not be involved unless one discovered it. If one discovers their true identity as a demon, they have to either erase their memory or recruit them. Her friend's other idea was to let him die, and once he was on the verge she would appear and revive him. Something he did not accept, of course, since Issei was his friend, and if he was going to join his peerage, he would do it the right way. I just hope he uses it. So I don't have to lie to him every time I see him. I know you hate lying to him. Ever since you met him and spent time with him, you were afraid that he would fear you or repudiate you for being a demon. The bad reputation of the demons was never a good ally to me. Come on Rias, let's go. Go ahead Akeno, I'll catch up with you later. She walked away leaving Rias with her thoughts. I just hope and finally I don't have to lie anymore. I never stood lying to him since he became my friend and I don't want to lie to him anymore because of the mass. I just hope and use the card. It was the day Ice would meet Yuma as planned. It's been 5 minutes, where will it be? This is what a certain girl asked no one. Yuma? She turned around to see that the brown-haired boy had arrived but noticed that he was in a hurry. You fell asleep again, right? I'm sorry Yuma. He apologized as if he was caught doing something wrong, to which she smiled at how innocent it was. It's not okay, you were only 5 minutes late. But don't do it again, it's rude to keep a lady waiting. If I promise you I won't do it again. He smiled knowing that she forgave him. Well, we have to go to the mall, let's go, Ice-kun. Okay, I'm ready. Come on Ice-kun, lower your enthusiasm, we're not going to a battle or anything. You know me Yuma, if anyone wants to fist bump with me, they are welcome to try and I look forward to seeing you there. She smiled at the boy again because of that energy and desire that has characterized him since she met him and became his friend. I just hope everything goes as planned. Why did we stop at Yuma Park? Well, I have something to do there and I want you to come with me, could you do it for me? Well, even though I have homework I can't abandon a friend, I'll go with you. Well, let's go. The couple had spent most of the day having fun either at the mall, although it was one-sided, a restaurant eating lots of things, and at the movies, which luckily for Issei was a movie they both enjoyed. They were both heading to the city park, a beautiful park where you can appreciate at least a little bit of nature. When they arrived, the same Yuma asked him to go to the fountain, so he accompanied her without hesitation. Arriving there she stood in front of Issei looking him in the eyes. Hey Yuma, what's wrong? The truth is, I brought you here for a reason. Reason? Wait, if it's because of that time I stained your dress with my chocolate snow, then you're pretty set on me, right? It's not because of that, and I already told you that I forgive you. What a relief, and then why did you bring me here? What reason do you mean? Well, to tell you my reason, first I have to tell you a story, and please I don't want you to interrupt me. I will answer all your questions once I finish. But why do you have to tell me Yuma's story? Is it necessary? Yes, Ice-kun, is necessary for you to understand. Come on Yuma, don't give it so much thought and tell me. No Ice-kun, so pay attention. Issei was upset by what Yuma said, but he had no choice but to obey. He sat on the ground crossing his legs and also his arms, puffing out his cheeks in a sign of childish anger. Yuma, although she had to be serious, couldn't stop looking at Ice, who, according to her, gives her a tender touch. She sat on one of the banks of the fountain. Many millennia ago when God created the earth, a three-way war occurred. In that war 3 types of supernatural beings participated. Those beings were the demons, the angels, and the fallen angels. Their war had no end or anything. The 3 sides fought for the control of the world. Among them there was a powerful being that ruled the angels and the light. That being was known as God. God. That's right, he was not only powerful, but he created very powerful objects that could confront the demons and the fallen angels. Those artifacts are called sacred gears, and until now the only ones who can wield those artifacts are humans. When the war ended with a ceasefire, both sides withdrew from the battlefield, resulting in the deaths of the 4 Dimas and several leaders of the fallen angels and a wounded god, each returning on their own. An agreement was reached not to mess with the humans and to remain hidden from their eyes. And if a human comes to discover a supernatural being, either his memory is erased or he is invited to join his side. Issei was left thinking and processing in his head everything that Yuma told him. To anyone's ears, it would seem like something out of a movie or a video game. But although many think that Issei is a fool, in reality he is quite the opposite, and seeing his friend's serious look he could only say this. And what does that have to do with me? It has a lot because I… What's up, Yuma? He asked curiously. She just stood up from where she was and… Please promise me that despite what I'm going to do we will continue being friends. She had a look that betrayed her anguish. Issei knew that this was very serious for her, so with a firm look he stood up, put a fist on the left side of his chest and said. I give you my word that no matter what happens, we will always be friends, Yuma. Yuma was calmer and a smile that showed the good feelings she felt for the boy. She just closed her eyes and a pink flash enveloped her body. Issei had to cover his eyes from the light, but in the midst of the illumination he could see how Yuma's clothes began to tear and be replaced by leather straps and a Daraman with spikes. He looked like a dominatrix. Yuma's body grew a little more mature. But what caught his attention were two crow wings. The plumage was black as night. When the transformation ended, Yuma spread his wings showing that they were real, giving a very intimidating appearance. This is me, Ice-kun. And his voice changed too. I am a fallen angel. I was sent to watch over you by my leaders. At first I took this as a boring mission, but as I spent time with you, I realized that you were not like all men. You were very different. I don't know how it happened, but I wanted to show you my true form, even knowing the risks I would be getting into. Ice-kun. He had his eyes shadowed by his hair. He didn't look at Yuma, which scared her. I'm sorry for lying to you all this time if you feel like it. Are you kidding? She looked at him and saw something she didn't expect. He saw the boy smile with excitement. You're great and you're sure to be strong, and if what you told me is true, well, I want to meet more like you. I want to fight with them, please, Yuma. Her eyes widened at that response to what was happening, although deep down she was expecting that. Aren't you scared of me? Hey? Why would I be you or my friend, and I promise to be your friend no matter what happens. Now the fallen angel felt her heart beating like crazy. She expected that the boy who had become her friend would just get scared and run away like all humans, but she forgot that Ice was different from everyone else, more different than herself. She could only shed tears of joy and smile when she saw that she was not rejected. Thanks, Ice-kun. Hey? Because I like it. He couldn't finish because Yuma hugged him, shedding tears, not wanting to let him go. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for accepting me as I am. Issei, with no choice and with a sincere smile, returned the hug to the fallen angel. It was nothing. It seemed like everything was going to end well, but as I told you, it was going to. You look so pathetic, Rainer. The two, upon hearing an unknown voice, turned their gaze to see a subject. He had a khaki trench coat, a felt hat and a scarf around his neck. What caught Issei's attention were the black wings, implying that he was also a fallen angel like Yuma. Anatsik, what are you doing here? Well, it turns out we received new orders. Apparently they say that you will be promoted in rank if you kill that pathetic human. Those were Kakabiel-sama's orders. I follow Azazel-sama's orders. You are still a leader, so you have to obey your new orders. Well, tell the Kakabiel that if he wants to kill me, he should come and do it himself. Yuma Rainer was amazed by the challenging tone that Issei had towards the fallen angel, and even more so when she saw that he was smiling with enthusiasm. What is this? Don't you know who you're talking to, human? Yes, I know, I'm talking to an idiot with a superiority complex who thinks that because I'm human, he won't be in any danger by insulting me, but I'll tell you this, if you want my life, then come and get it, I invite you to try. The fallen angel just laughed with superiority at the boy's words, then a blue spear of light formed from his hands. Well, if you want to die so much, I will fulfill your wish. Anaxit, that's enough. Don't worry, Rainer, I'll finish your work. Well, don't think I'm going to. She couldn't finish when she saw how she was pushed to the side. She saw that it was Issei who pushed her and that he was also giving her a confident smile. Ice-kun, what are you doing? I think this is what Shinsu meant when he said that the time has come, now I can face very powerful beings. Sit down, Yuma, and let me enjoy this. Keep dreaming, brat, and say goodbye. The subject threw the spear that was going straight to Issei. Ice-kun, dodge it, if it pierces you, you'll die. But Issei just smiled. The spear reached to touch him. Everything was fast for her, who saw how Issei was pushed many meters by the spear stuck in his stomach. Ice. Ha, in the end you were just a pathetic human talker. Hey you. I stop laughing when I hear the chestnut's voice. You weren't going to kill me? He saw something he couldn't believe. He saw how he held the spear with his bare hands, preventing it from going to his stomach, and finally his hands up to his forearm were black. Because if that's the best you have, then you're just a talker. He squeezed the spear tightly, causing it to break into many pieces and then disappear. That's impossible, how did you stop the spear? Issei just gave him the middle finger. I won't tell you, idiot. The fallen angel just got angry and this time he made 2 spears of light in each hand. It doesn't matter, I'll kill you. He launched himself at the boy, attacking quickly. But the boy dodged his attempts at attack. I say attempts because he dodged them as if he knew where each attack was going. Something that caught Yuma or Rainer's attention. Stop moving or I'll kill you. With more reason I move. The subject, seeing that it didn't work, just took his distance, somewhat agitated. But Issei wasn't tired at all, it's more like. Come on, don't tell me what's it all. Give me some fun, do you want? Brat. He flew through the air starting to create spears. I don't think you can reach me from here, brat. He threw the spears hoping they would pierce him, but he didn't count on the chestnut jumping. You can't dodge from the air, I've got you now. I throw a spear that was going straight for Issei, but. He smiled. Eppo. As if something exploded, he disappeared from the fallen man's sight. Where did he go? I tried to look for it but. Look, it's already enough for you, old man. I was standing behind him with a toothy grin. He clenched his right hand and it turned red as if it were red hot, then it turned black. But the blow to the angel's face, drawing blood, the force of the punch knocked him down and he crashed to the ground. The boy went down to the ground and his hand returned to its original color. You've got to be kidding me, I trained a lot for this. What are you? But the angel hurt by the blow asked. Well, I really don't know. Issei-kun, be careful. The brown-haired boy, upon hearing his friend, felt that something was coming at high speed. He evaded it without any problem and saw that they were 2 girls, but he also knew that they were fallen angels. I didn't think they would leave such a mess, Danatsik. Shut up, Mitlet. Alwerner, Mitlet, are you also with Kakabiel? Don't take it personally, Rainer, but Kakabiel-sama promises better things than Azazel-sama. They are traitors. Haha, come on Rainer, if you kill that boy we might talk to Kakabiel-sama so you can join us. You better shut up, you spoiled little goth girl. The gothic girl just frowned at Issei's insult. How did you call me, filthy human? What you heard, or are you going to believe yourself superior to me? If so, then I invite you to end up like that old man over there. He said this pointing to Danatsik, who was just getting up. I've had enough, let's attack him together. The angels attacked Issei from different points and it was beginning to become difficult for him to dodge the spears as they came at him from all sides, giving him no chance to counterattack. At this rate I'm not going to get rid of her, I have to. The spear was coming at him and he couldn't dodge it because the other 2 didn't allow him to move. Shit. But. Bing. The pink spear deflected the blue one that was coming at his face. The trio of angels saw that it was Yuma who threw the spear. I'm sorry Issei-kun, but I'm not going to sit back and watch you get murdered before my eyes. Rainer, do you know what you're getting yourself into? You're betraying Grigori, are you going to throw away your entire reputation and position as an assassin for this human? That was what the gothic loli asked her with a hint of superiority, believing that with her words, she could make her change her mind but. Yes, I quit. Apparently he was wrong. Are you crazy or what? Well then you can find that out. He said this by making another spear and standing next to Issei, who began to make his arms turn black again. Well, if that's what you want, then you'll have it. Even with Yuma's help I'm at a disadvantage. If I had some help, that reminds me why Rias-senpai gave me that letter. Maybe it was some kind of amulet or something. I'd like to see her again, she's very kind and great. Issei didn't know how, but a red light was shining in his pants pocket. The red light turned out to be the same card that came out of his pants pocket and flew away, then in a flash made someone appear that he did not expect. When the flash stopped shining it was seen that it was Rias-senpai. That's right, it was her. Ice, you summoned me and. What is the Grimoire heiress doing here? A she-devil, seeing that there were like 4 fallen angels surrounding her friend and love interest, could only deduce one thing. What are they trying to do? From his hands he formed a sphere of black and red fire, pointing at the group of angels. Black bat wings emerged from behind him, giving him a threatening image. Be with my friend. The sphere increased in size, scaring those present except Issei, who thought it was great, causing the subject to bark orders. We have to run away, she is the heiress of the Grimoire house. Let's run away. The fallen except Rainer fled like a flock of doves releasing feathers with their flight. The Grimoire, seeing them leave, dissipated their power and let them flee. There was no point in chasing them. DCH cowards. But seeing that one remained, he put his power back into one hand pointing at her. Hey wait, Rias-senpai. Issei stood in front of Rainer to prevent her from killing her. Ice, what are you doing? I just have to. She's my friend and I don't want to hurt her, so if you want to do something to her, you'll have to do it to me too. Both girls opened their eyes wide at such a statement from the brown-haired boy, and which made them blush too, so Rias had no choice but to give up. Okay Ice, you win. He left his power and showed his hands to prove that he would not do anything bad. Are you okay? Yes, Rias-senpai, but how did I get here? And what are those wings? And that power? That's great, could you teach me? She smiled at the chestnut's enthusiasm. Well, Ice, I'll tell you everything you want to know if you come with me to the club, what do you think? Well, I'm going on one condition. And what is it? Issei looked at Rainer, who blushed at the determined look he had. From now on, Yuma is under my protection without any complaints. Rias, although she was surprised by the boy's condition, deep down she expected that, knowing his way of being. You don't care if they are different from you, you will never leave someone. Ice, you have a big heart that I plan to protect without caring about anything except you. With those thoughts in mind, she took the step for the brown-haired boy's adventure to begin and would turn not only the underworld but all the factions upside down with what Issei would do for his friends and his wish. The question that is in the air would be, can he achieve it? I think so. There is someone who looks out for you. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Those were the cries of a brown-haired boy who was pedaling his bicycle at full speed to hand out flyers. Since he became a pawn of Rias, he was excited because he was beginning to discover things he didn't know and learn about strong supernatural beings that he wants to face in a fight. And even more so knowing that he had a sacred gear. Rias motivated him to follow his goals. He was happy that his friend and love interest was going to be so energetic and hardworking in handing out flyers, and even more so knowing what his goal is. I want to defeat a god, and for that I have to train more and be an ultimate class devil. I will have my nobility, and I will be a very powerful devil. And with more motivation I pedal, increasing the speed and a big smile. I'm going to be the most powerful in the world. Tadema. That's what he said when he arrived, but he remembered something. I forgot it, I live alone. Ice-kun. That brought him out of his thoughts. It was Rainer's voice, who was wearing a purple blouse that left little to the imagination, short black shorts that showed off a lot of her legs and pink slippers that she walked around the house in. I forgot to say that she also has a white apron and that she was leaving the kitchen. You're late, do you know how worried I was? Sorry, Ray, but time flew by and it's a habit I have. Even though he responded to everything with a smile, she knew he was hiding his sadness for a reason. He doesn't usually arrive early because no one expects to receive him at home. So the fall came closer and embraced him with the love that he could give him. I know it was hard for you being alone, but now I'm here, I'll be that person who will greet you when you arrive. Issei didn't know what to say, he didn't even know what to answer or what to do, except to reciprocate Rainer's hug, and in just a whisper he said. Thanks, Ray. She smiled, knowing that she could make her friend feel better and fall in love with him. But what are we waiting for? I made dinner and I don't want it to get cold while we're standing here. Issei was excited and with a smile he nodded, glad that she had stayed at his house. And of course, a few weeks ago she was enrolled in his school at his request in exchange for joining Rias' nobility. Something that at first earned recriminations from the Reed, but in the end she got what she wanted. It was night and Issei, as is his habit, went to the roof to look at the stars, those celestial bodies that rise in the dark sky and shine with fireflies, illuminating many who know how to appreciate them. Issei is one of those who appreciates them. There were times when he wanted to reach space and be able to touch a star. Seeing the stars again, Ice-kun. He turned around to see Rainer, who now had on a white nightgown that left nothing to the imagination and would also cause a man to be aroused. But not Issei, who doesn't see her that way. Well, Ray, it's just that every night I see them with the intention that one of them can find out where Shinsu is. I can assure you that he also wants to see you, Ice-kun, and I also want to meet that man you told me about. You're going to like him. He may be a little eccentric, but he's one of the best teachers of all. He taught me everything I know about hockey and Rakishiki. Fufufu, I know. They both stared at the stars, with Rainer telling him some constellations that Issei could make out. Then they both went to sleep. Of course Rainer, since she arrived, asked her friend if she could sleep with him, which although the boy found strange, he didn't care, and they both slept together. The unbroken school began, where Ray in his Yuma Amano form came holding hands with his friend Issei. Of course, what she did was to start gaining more ground in the boy's heart. She had a rival who was Aika, who kept looking at them jealously. I want to tell Butchu to finish with the flyers, she will surely be happy. Fufufu, Ice-kun, you have enthusiasm for everything. I know, you know that's how I am, Yuma. And that's what I love about you. Hahaha, that's me. Now with a smile that would split his face he walked to the school grounds. But of course when he arrived the students were surprised that someone they considered a brainless idiot was accompanied by a beautiful and charming girl. The look that promised death from the boys was what motivated Issei to give them a look of challenge to jump into the fight. And the look of curiosity and some jealousy was what caused Rainer to take the boy's arm and give them a sign that the brown-haired boy is her property. But a girl with glasses who thought she wouldn't have to deal with rivals now has to plan how to spend time with her friend, since when she found out that he was reincarnated into a devil, she could only smile bitterly since, although she didn't want that to happen, she expected it. Now he not only has to deal with the red-haired devil, but also with a fallen black-haired woman. I'm here. It was Issei who entered the club room with Yuma and an ability who were waiting for him. Ice, I'm glad you arrived. I guess the flyers I gave you have already been distributed, right? They were a piece of cake. I told him I wouldn't come back until I ran out of them. The she-devil smiled. Ever since she joined the nobility she has been very happy to finally no longer have to lie to him and be able to tell him her true identity. At first I hoped he was going to reject her and break off their friendship. But she knew it was useless to think that because once again the brown-haired boy showed her that he doesn't care about races, he accepted her without hesitation. She had confidently and without worries asked him to be part of his nobility, which he accepted on the condition that his fallen angel partner was enrolled in his school and was a member of the club. He couldn't say no since he values his friends a lot and he showed that she is in his care. In the end she could only accept, but it was worth it since she had the boy who moves her world in his nobility and she only hopes to make him her boyfriend so that if things go well they will advance further and he will be Issei Gremory. I knew I could count on you. From now on your job of handing out flyers is over. Today you will start your first job as a demon. Boom baby woohoo. That was Issei's cry of victory for having done or achieved a goal. Everyone was smiling at the boy's inactivity. Kiba the Prince of Cow was a male member of the club who because of his pretty face could not have friends. He only had girls who asked him for a date. Despite having the entire male population against him, he was able to make friends with Issei. He didn't care what they said to him or the threats they made to him when he became their friend. Something that Kiba valued and saw is that even though many see him as an idiot, he is actually someone with a good heart. That's why Kiba values his friendship with Issei since he is the only male friend he has and he knows that he can be very naive when trusting people, so he swore to protect his friendship with him and be his support as friends, almost brothers. Kaneko, Cow's pet, was the youngest member of the group who was the target of many lolicon boys. She didn't trust any of them since she thought they were all hopeless perverts. But when she met Issei, who was once invited to the club, she found him interesting either because of his great amount of energy or because of his childish attitude. She couldn't tell if he was lying since he never proved that he was lying, and if he tried it, it wouldn't work. But what surprised her about him was that when he met her he made funny gestures. When they asked him why he did it, he just answered without any tact or measuring his words and was. I wanted to see if she could smile because I've seen her many times and she never smiles. I even thought she was a robot. Let's just say that it cost him a tremendous beating from the little tower that left him in a mess. But when Kaneko finished she had done something she hadn't done for years. He smiled sincerely. Later she learned from her mistress that he let her hit him not because she was the school mascot, but because he wanted to see her smile, he wanted her to be happy. And since then, when things get out of control in a fight that Issei provokes, she stops him with a single blow. If you wondered who stopped the fight in the first chapter, there you have your answer, and puts him in his place. In a few words, she has him by the leash. That sounded sadistic, don't you think? But he also takes care of him since he is his friend for now. It was another day at the club and Issei was alone since he arrived early and Rainer had to run errands around the room, so she caught up with him later. He sat down on one of the sofas and saw a bento with Mamadeificus. Issei, being very weak with sweets, didn't care if they were from someone he ate with pleasure since he enjoyed the soy jelly. While eating he couldn't help but think about what his life was like now. Since I became a demon, things are more fun. I make contracts with interesting and fun people. I face off on polls with Kiba and Kaneko-chan, and I enjoy Akeno-senpai st, and the best thing is that they are all my friends. I will have more when I have my evil group, whatever it's called, and I form a team. No, my family. Is that your wish, partner? Of course it is, Drag. I have wanted it for a long time. I know it sounds strange, but I am not going to give up. If I can surpass God, I will be powerful enough to protect everyone I care about. If I want to protect everyone, I have to be so powerful that the gods would fear me. Of all the possessors I've had, you are someone different. Maybe you can surpass them. I know, and I have to find Shinsu so he can see how strong I've become and give him a good punch at the same time. Why do you want to do that to him? Because when he left me a note saying that Chuck Norris didn't die. Do you know how many tears I shed when I found out about his death when I was 7 and he was lying to me? And why do I ask? Drag was the Red Emperor dragon that resides in the booster gear, Issei's sacred artifact on his left arm. Their relationship is good, and what to say about Issei being very talkative with him and asking him to teach him things about dragons and ways to become stronger. The dragon saw that boy with a friend. He even loved his games, although sometimes he was irritated by his immaturity. He was one of the few possessors who did not see him as a source of power, but as a friend. They both became friends. But today is very boring, none of them are here, and I don't like silence. The young man, without thinking twice, took out his cell phone and a wireless speaker. He searched his list of songs for one that seemed good to him. Let's see, no, and this one. Seeing the song that was on the cell phone, he could only sigh. That song was one that his teacher listened to, and besides always singing it when he was drunk, he forced him to sing it so. Well, a trip to the past doesn't hurt. He put the song on and waited to listen to it, but first. Hey, drag, is anyone around? As far as I know, no partner. Why? Thanks, I'll make it up to you. Play Ruben stuttered S song How Can You Mend a Broken Here. The sounds of bass and guitar and a jazz tone were heard in the club. It was something like a romantic tone. I can think of younger days when living for my life was everything a man could want to do. I could never see tomorrow, but I was never told about the sorrow he, and how can you mend a broken heart, how can you stop the rain from falling down? Tell me, how can you stop the sun from shining? What makes the world go round? Hello. How can you mend this broken man? How can a loser ever win? Please help me mend my broken heart and let me live again. La 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 la. Issei's voice was soft and he looked at the ceiling as he closed his eyes. He was lost in the song, like those nights when he and his teacher spent on Saturdays after training, and how he returned after a failed date. What he didn't realize was that the door was ajar and everyone, including Rainer, was listening to Issei singing. I can still feel the breeze that rustles through the trees and misty memories of days gone by we could never see tomorrow. No one said a word about the sorrow. You. The girls were captivated by that voice, even though the song was a genre they were not used to. What they heard was something incredible, especially when they imagined that this boy was dedicating it to them. And how can you mend a broken heart, how can you stop the rain from falling down? Please tell me, how can you stop the sun from shining? What makes the world go round? Oh la 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 la, la 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 la. Oh, can you mend this broken man? How can a loser ever win? Please help me mend my broken heart and let me live again. Listen, baby. They entered without him noticing. The screams and the high pitch of his voice were very good to not want to see his expression. They saw that he was happy singing and remembering the moments with his teacher. And how can you mend a broken heart, how can you stop the rain from falling down? Won't you please help me mend my broken heart and let me live again? Baby, things just I and apostrophe T been the same, no. Since you went away, and I want to know. How can a loser ever win? When the song ended, everyone applauded. Issei opened his eyes in surprise, not expecting his fellow peers to be there. The girls had noticeable blushes as they clapped. It was to be expected. It's not every day that your friend sings a song that's too difficult to interpret and made only for a good voice. Of course, the adolescent imperative could only smile at the applause. Ice, that song is very beautiful. Apart from being a rowdy singer. Ice-kun, where did you learn to sing like that? Well, the truth is that I learned it from Shinsu. It's his favorite song, and he always plays it when he comes home from a Saturday night. It reminded him of his wife, that's what he told me once. Everyone saw Issei's expression when he mentioned that about a wife. They knew that this was a very delicate subject between him and his master. But leaving that aside, why did it take so long? Well, Ice, we had some business to attend to, and those are Kaneko-chan sweets. Issei, hearing that, looked down at the bento, which had a note that said in big letters, if you touch them, I'll kill you, Kaneko. Now with fear he looked up and saw that in front of him was a Kaneko with a dark aura in her gaze. Although she did not show any emotion, he knew that she was angry. Kaneko-chan, I swear I didn't see the note, I swear I didn't see the note. I was shaking with fear. One of the things the boy learned is to never, and I mean never, take Kaneko's sweets, or at least not get caught. Since she is very territorial with sweets. Just when they thought she was going to hit him. Don't worry, Ai-senpai. That surprised Issei. You're not going to hit me. But you left me a watch that tells me when I can and cannot get angry. And when do you get angry? I don't know, it's random. The girl retreated to a room where the president sleeps. Issei thought he was saved, but Issei-kun, take advantage of this moment and run for your life. Why, Kiba? She didn't get angry. Rias and Akeno just laughed quietly and 3 said the redeed. 2 said the black-haired girl. 1 they both said. Beep 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 beep. The girl looked at her digital wristwatch and said without expression. It's about time. He disappeared from sight, and after a few seconds he appeared with a flat stick half a meter long. Where did she get it from? She asked Akeno. For it for what? Don't ask. You ate my candy, senpai. Now she was angry, very angry. His fellow nobles had only one thing to say. Runs. I already told you that I didn't see the note, and he couldn't continue as she lunged to hit him. He narrowly dodged it, but the force of the blow was enough to split the sofa in two. Now Issei was terrified. You ate my candy. He had a very psychopathic look that promised pain. I told you I didn't see the note. You were going to suffer, senpai. Issei, as your master, I will only give you one piece of advice, run. Thanks for the advice, bye. They ran away being chased by a very angry first-year girl. Many students heard screams of agony and they sounded like this. Kaneko-chan, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I will teach you not to mess with my candies. Please Kaneko-chan, no punishment please. Plead plead plead. Help. Yeah, things were pretty fun for Issei Haidu when he doesn't mess with other people's sweets. But things are about to get more interesting for this young demon on his way to being a fear of the gods. But for now he suffers, pray for him, cheer up Issei, you can do it. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day, bye.